Social media is notorious for showing advertisements. Sometimes you'll even be talking about a product and then see an ad for the product minutes later. Has the way social media companies utilize information become too intrusive? The antitrust acts are made to protect consumers. But social media companies have been towing the line on whether they are following the acts. In 2019, it showed that Google made 70.9% of their revenue by advertising. How this works is that the advertiser pays Google every time someone clicks on the ad and is taken to the advertiser's website. But the real question is, how does Google know that you will be interested in the advertisement? Google is able to track internet usage and use location information to see if advertising is followed by visiting certain stores or purchases of travel. These abilities all give Google an advantage over any competitor who wants to try to become any part of the intermediation chain. This could be subject to challenge under Section 2 of the Sherman Act. Another social media company that could be crossing the line is Facebook. Facebook is a widely known social media corporation. Facebook, like Google, makes most of its revenue by selling advertisements. In 2019, about 98.5% of Facebook's revenue was made off of selling advertisements. Facebook's strategy of disguising its data harvesting, acquiring potential entrants, and restricting interoperability appears to fit a pattern of monopolization by a firm with considerable market power, which is prohibited by Section 2 of the Sherman Act. In fact, the FTC recently sued Facebook on December 9, 2020. The allegation was that Facebook was illegally maintaining its personal social networking monopoly through a years-long course of anti-competitive conduct. According to the FTC's complaint, Facebook is the world's dominant personal social networking service and has monopoly power and a market for personal social networking services. Along with Facebook in the doghouse is Apple. In 2020, it showed that 45.3% of people with a smartphone had an Apple phone. Unlike Facebook or Google, Apple makes its revenue by selling phones, computers, and selling services like Apple Music. Users of Apple phones use the iOS system. Users of the iOS system can only get apps through the App Store provided on the phone. All apps sold on the App Store must be pre-approved by Apple and must follow the guidelines that the App Store has. Apple's total control of the App Store could be used to create significant barriers to entry for digital service providers who wish to compete with what Apple has to offer. Apple also does not give the app developers information about the people who have purchased the apps. App developers have before filed antitrust lawsuits related to the confidentiality of the purchasers of the apps. With the available facts, it's shown that Apple may be disadvantaging the app developers to their competition with the use of the App Store. This is because the app developers cannot contact those who have used the apps to see what they can fix or do better. These actions could amount to a violation of the second section of the Sherman Act. While the rest of these companies have violated Section 2 of the Sherman Act, Amazon violated the first section of the Sherman Act. Amazon makes its money by allowing third-party companies to sell on its website. Amazon's online retail platform is one of the largest in the United States at this point in time. Most people buy the first couple items that come up when you use the search box. So what happens to the rest of the items, and how does Amazon choose what to put first? The search algorithm seems to favor third-party sellers who pay for fulfillment by Amazon. There is also some evidence that Amazon may favor established companies or third-party companies that pay for advertisements. This makes it harder for third-party companies to have a chance to succeed on Amazon. It also leads to higher costs for the third-party companies, as well as for the consumers. It is a major disadvantage for others. Amazon also has a policy that you cannot list a lower price on another website for a product than the price that you listed on Amazon. The consequence if you violate this is removal of the listing on Amazon, or Amazon will unfavor these listings. Because the search algorithm is this way, it is a violation of the first section of the Sherman Act. A remedy to this would require ending the tying of the search engine to the purchase of ads or FBA. It would also require an end to the price requirement as well. Based on the evidence above, there's a good reason to believe that all of these companies have violated the antitrust acts. The digital advertising of Google, the social media and advertising businesses of Facebook, the App Store business of Apple, and the policies of Amazon all have violated the acts. These companies all play important roles and are large companies in the current day. It is extremely important that the FTC pays close attention to these companies and their faults. The remedies to fix these faults should be taken very seriously as well. All of the evidence from these companies has helped show what these companies have violated the antitrust laws and need to be fixed.